Hello and welcome to BISP Solutions. My name is Ankita and today we will continue with the calculation manager business rules topics. So today we have come up with two new topics. First one is the depreciation calculation and the second one is the salary and headcount planning calculation. Okay, so first let us see what calculation of capital expenditures are all about. So the cost of assets are depreciated using the straight line method of accounting over estimated useful life. So before that, I would first like to explain you what capital assets are. Capital assets are the assets which helps a business to earn its revenue for a longer span of time. So these assets are being taken care of for more are exist for more than a year in the business. So here, for example, we can see that the capex building and improvement are for the 10 years. Machinery and equipments are here for 5 years. In this case, furniture is for 3 years, vehicles are for 2 years, and computers and softwares are for 3 years. Lastly, the intangible assets are being held in the business for 10 years. Okay. So now I will first take you to the requirement sheet. Okay, so this is the depreciation that is being calculated on the building and improvement assets. So here we can see that we have used the SLN function that in the Excel, and here after using SLN, we have first considered the value of the asset, then the residual value of the asset, and lastly 120 is the period of depreciation. So here we are basically doing monthly planning, so we have considered here 120 months. Okay, as I have already explained you that in the given condition, building and improvement are for 10 years, so 10 will be multiplied with the 12 months, and as a result we will get 120 months. Okay, so the asset's existence is only for 120 months, that is 10 years. Similarly, the depreciation we have calculated using SLN function are for 60 months, that is for 5 years. The value of the asset is $1,50,000 and there is nil residual value. Similarly, in case of furnitures, we have considered that the furnitures cost us $60,000 and it will be held by an organization or by an entity for 36 months, and there is no residual value. But in case of vehicles, here we can see that the value of the vehicle which we have purchased are $25,000, in which we will be holding a residual value of 1,000. So residual value basically means the value of the asset which we can get after 24 months. Okay, so if the asset is obsolete and a slump sale, so in that case we will get at least a minimum value of $1,000. Okay, then the asset is being held by the organization or by the entity is for 24 months. Then in case of computers and software, similarly, which values $1 lakh and its residual values 5,000, will be held for 36 months, that is 3 years. Lastly, we will be having intangible assets, which we have valuing $2 lakh 40,000 and its residual value is nil, and the asset will be holded by an entity for 10 years. Okay, and here 120 months. So now we are going to write a business rule for the same. So first of all, I will go to the instance, and from here I will then click on rules. Then I will expand vision and I will select the plan. After expanding the plan one, we will get rules, and I will right click on it, or else we can we can also start writing a new rule or creating a new rule with the help of action menu using new object. Okay, so here first we will be selecting the application type as EPM cloud, then application name will be vision, and the cube we will be selecting here. So I'm going to select here plan one. So object type, we can see here we have rule set, template, rules, script, formula. So all these things I have already explained you before in my first session itself. So here we are going to select the object as rules. Okay, after that I will click on okay. Okay, yeah, I have to name the rule. So here I am going to name it as depreciation calculation test. Okay, so depth calculation test is the name of my rule. So here I have created it. I'm going to write a rule in the edit script mode. So by default we find that base data is being fixed. Okay, so now here I'm going to use nested fix function. So first I'm going to fix here the working scenario. Then we will be selecting here plan as working version, then scenario as plan, and here we will be taking no product. Okay, so here I'm going to write and fix. After that, here I'm going to use the if statement. So before that I'm going to create a member block here. So I'm going to name the member block here as 7320, which is a depreciation calculation value. So now I will go to dimension. I will copy the name of the member from here 7320 by searching the member here. Okay, so we got the alias name as 7320, depreciation, buildings and improvement. I will copy it from dimension. After that I will open a parenthesis here, then after that I will write if, and under if I'm going to use @ is member and @ relative of resources. After selecting the entity, I'm going to mention the level over here. So it's going to be 0 level members of the resources entity. Okay, so after this I'm going to use here nested if function. So in nested if I'm going to mention here @ is MBR, then in parenthesis I will mention the year as FY24. Then here I'm going to write the formula for calculation of depreciation. Okay, so here I'm going to use @SLN, as I'm calculating here the depreciation on a straight line basis. Okay, let me show you the function here and the syntax of @SLN. So let me search it here, @SLN. Okay, so the SLN calculation function calculates the periodic amount that an asset in the current period may be depreciated across a range of period. Okay, the depreciation method uses a straight line method, as I have already explained you. So the SLN method assumes that the asset depreciates by the same amount each period. Okay, more than one asset may be depreciated over the range. The value is depreciated from its entry period to the last period in the range. The resulting value represents the sum of all the pre-period depreciation value of each asset being depreciated. So here we can see the syntax is at the rate SLN, then cost member is the cost of the asset that is being purchased. Then we have the salvage member. So salvage member basically we have seen previously are the salvage values or the residual value, okay, which we will get after selling the asset or after completing its tenure, okay, as the slump sale. Then we have the life member. Okay, so life member is nothing as we have previously seen. Like for example, the assets value is 10 years. So we have converted that into the months. Okay, so this is what we will be giving here as life member, then exchange list. So exchange list is going to be the period. Okay, so here in the example, we can see that the exchange list here is considered as the year from FY 1991 to FY 95. Similarly, we can also use the range as the months, okay, considering the year as well. So this is how the SLN function works. So now I will go to the business rule and then show you how to write it. So after writing at the rate SLN, I'm going to mention the name of the member here. So the member is going to be the depreciation CapEx. Okay, so here it is going to be CapEx buildings and improvements. So I will directly copy the name of the member, and then after putting comma here, okay, I will first mention here salvage member, that is the salvage value. So here I have considered the salvage value as 0 for this asset. Then the life of the asset is being considered. So as I have already explained, the life of building and improvement is going to be 10 years and it will be further categorized as 120 months. Okay, now I'm going to mention the range of the period here as Jan is to December. Okay, now semicolon. After that, I'm going to calculate the depreciation for the member 7330, which is machinery and equipment. So the member name is CapEx, machinery and equipment. I will directly copy the name of the members to avoid any errors. Okay. So this asset I don't have any salvage value and the period of this asset is going to be 60 months, comma, here I'm going to use the x range at the rate x range function to directly mention the period here. The period is going to be from FY 24 in intersection with April, then comma, then again I'm going to mention the FY 25 here in intersection with December. Okay, after that I'm going to calculate a depreciation for another asset. So the asset name is going to be, the depreciation will be the target value. Then I'm going to write, first of all, SLN. Then in parentheses, I will mention the name of the asset here. After that, I will mention the residual value of the asset, which is 0. The period is 36 months. Then here I'm going to use the range as January to December. Okay. So this calculation will take place from January to December from the year FY24. Now after we will be calculating depreciation for vehicles at the rate SLN. Then I will mention the name of the asset as CapEx vehicle. Then comma. The residual value of this asset is going to be 1000, and the life of the asset is going to be 24 months, and the range of the period will be from Jan to December. After the vehicles, I'm going to calculate the depreciation for computer and software. So I will copy the name of the target member. Then I will mention the source. So here I'm going to use SLN function. And then I will mention the name of this asset here. Then I will mention here the residual value, which is 5000. The life of the asset is going to be 36 months, and the range of the period will be from FY24 in intersection with Feb, then comma, Feb is to December. Okay. After that, one more last formula we are going to mention here. So the last formula is we are going to calculate is for the depreciation of intangible asset. So at the rate SLN, and the asset is going to be CapEx intangible asset. Here the residual value is going to be 0. After that, comma, the period is 120 months, and lastly I am going to mention the range of the period here. The Jan is to December. After that, semicolon, and now I will mention here the end fix statement first before completing the rule. Here I have used and if statement, so I'm going to here I have used if statement, so I'm going to end it with the end if statement. After that, in the another line, I'm going to close the parenthesis which I have opened while creating the member block. After that, I will save and validate the rule. Now my rule is being saved and validated without any errors. After that, I will deploy the rule. And then I will launch the rule here. Now I will go to the sheet here. I have already explained you the requirements that we are calculating the depreciation on the straight line basis method. Now here we have the asset value with us. I will then refresh the sheet. So here we can see that we have got the value of the depreciation of these assets, right? So here we can see that the building and improvement is being calculated from the very beginning, that is from the January month itself. However, the machinery equipment were purchased in the month of April, so the value of the asset is visible to us from the April month here, and the depreciation is calculated from then on. So this is how we will be calculating the depreciation. Now here in the variance sheet we can see that there is no differences, and there is no differences or there is no deviations in the requirement and the calculation. So our data is validated. After that, I'm going to write another rule for a salary and headcount planning. Okay, so first let us go to the requirement sheet. Okay, so in the given case, so here in the given case, we are calculating the salaries on the basis of the headcount planning. So here we can see the average salary for all the months is being mentioned to us for FY23. Okay, so after that, the headcount we have, the headcount we have is per 10 employees. Okay, means we have 10 employees, the salary is being calculated for the 10 employees, and each employee is getting average salary of $10,000. Okay, and the employee benefits that are being given are 20% to all the employees. So how we can say that salaries that are being distributed is going to be 10 into $10,000, right? So it is going to be salary is going to be